Morning everyone, back again. Just finished pushing a bunch of snow, taking a whole bunch of little whacks at it. There's way too much for an old guy to push all at once. Too cold to fire up the tractor, it's still minus 25. The wind's coming up today, so the windshields are going to get pretty bad. So trying to get as much of this snow moved before the wind starts blowing it around. So we'll just carry on here. As I said yesterday, I'm going to show you the shrinking fork and how it's used. I got the idea for the shrinking fork from Carl Fisher over there on Make It Custom, and it kind of solved my problems with making these fenders. So I'll just show you how we get from, sorry about the up and down there, how we get from a piece of flat 20 gauge sheet to a finished fender like this. To say there's no cussing involved or hammering would be an outright lie. There's a whole lot of both involved in that. And it begins, I made a pattern out of light paper off of the original fender and traced it to cut out my blank to start with. And it gets really ugly before it gets really pretty. And to do that, I have a block of wood here that I've ground out a dish in it that I use for gathering my tucks. And I'll just take you over and show you what the fork does for me. The problem I had with the first fender is my shrinker stretcher only goes in an inch. So all I was able to do was gather up the centers. And the only way that you can shrink a piece is to put little folds in it, raised folds, and then pound them back down so that they push the steel into itself and shrink it. So I'll just take you over and show you on the fork how it works. Just go underneath the dodge here. Get you over here. On the set up. Okay, so this is what the fork looks like. Carl, because he's got a lathe, he could make his a little bit easier than I could. What I did, I have a cheap offshore aligning pry bar that was absolutely useless for what it was intended for. As soon as you tried to pry anything with it, it bent. So I had a couple of different sizes of them. What I did was I took the ends off and ground them down so that they'd fit in my drill, and then I turned them in a reverse direction against the belt on my belt sander and got them to a nice taper, nice smooth taper. Then you weld them to the bar stock so that they're parallel on the taper. Then you can clamp this into your vise. I suppose on a bigger panel you could put it on or use it with a wrench and do it that way. So what I've got, the two pieces locked in here. Gonna grab my gloves. Sharp edges. Not that I have girly hands or anything, but it's hard on the hands when you got cuts. So I've got quite a bit of shrink on the inside of this. What I'm going to do is put it in between the two pieces, and I'm going to put some nasty bends in it side by side. And what it's going to create is some puckers. I'll just do a whole bunch of those because I need lots of shrink in this piece. You just move it over a little each time so that you get a nice wrinkle. I know, nice wrinkle is when you're trying to make something and you're making it look like this. I'm going to straighten it out a little bit here So as you can see, I've got all of these puckers. I'm going to go over to my piece of wood and I'm going to pound on top of these with it sitting in the bottom of that trough that I ground in there, and it's going to gather the metal up. Just set up here. So I've got the piece sitting in there. I'm going to use the pointy end of my polyurethane hammer, and I'm going to hit right on the center of each of these puckers. And it gathers up the material. So as you can see, it's really starting to draw the edge of this piece of tin down because it's gathering up all this metal. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to work some of the real ugliness out of it on my English wheel and planishing hammer, and then I can bring you back and I'll show you. I'll still have to shrink it some more in here. The problem I run into is the English wheel is a little bit big for this tiny piece, so most of it has to be done on the planishing hammer. So I'll bring you back in a bit here, guys. Okay, so we're back again. This is about 10 minutes on the planishing hammer and the English wheel. You can see it's really starting to come together on the back side here. I don't have anywhere near enough curve in here yet, so it's going to need a little stretching in here, a little shrinking back here. What I've done, I've got these cheap plastic Amazon angle finders. What I did was I put this on my fender, my completed fender at the back here, and that's going to give me my angle that I'm going to go for on the new fender. Just hold it up here and show you. Got a ways to go yet. So this starts about there. You can see I probably have 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch of curve I have to put in that yet. So I'm going to start stretching this right in this area and get that curve going. Okay, a little more progress. As you can see, the shape is starting to get there. Get this in the right place. So I'm quite a bit closer here now with the overall curve I need. What I'm doing is I'm running it through the English wheel with the wheel running this way, and I'm getting stretch in the back here that's giving me my curve. I'll just bring you over here and I can show you on the... It doesn't take very long. So far, since I started cleaning this up after we did the shrinking fork, I've been about 15 minutes. Maybe closer to half an hour. Time goes by when you're having fun, so just get you in the right position here. Slide it in. I got a fair bit of pressure on it, and I'm just pushing down slightly. A little bit of pressure. Not a whole bunch. Overlapping. I gotta watch when I get to the edge here that I don't put die marks in it, because the radiuses are a little bit too, well, the wheels are too big for this fender. So as you can see, a bunch more went in, and as you're doing it, it's taking out all of them ugly wrinkles that we put into it. So I'm gonna go a little bit more here. As I still add, I can always stretch it the other way if I shrink too much. You usually don't have a lot of problems with shrinking too much. Okay, let's go over, see what our gauge shows here. The other edge I can worry about after the fact. We should be getting really close here now. As you can see, it's coming quite along. I'm going to do a little bit more up here in the top part to get this to curve down a little bit, and then I'm going to go back to the planishing hammer just to get this rounded over nice, get some more wrinkles out. I think I have to pull this in a bit more, and to do that I have to shrink, and I'll have to shrink up into here to get this part to come down, because it runs more of a straight line down. We'll carry on pound. Okay guys, here's about an hour of shaping. It's starting to come together pretty good. This area right here, I need to roll down some more, get this edge down. This section right here, get your turn, needs to come in so it's more flat instead of this curve to it. So I'll have to do a little more shrinking in here, which is going to be a little tough. And then I've got to get the shape along the edge here done so that it's right. And then as you can see on this one, there's a little bit of a roll back up. That'll be the next thing once I get this edge straightened out so that I have the distance of the fender out the same as the other side. This corner here needs to come up a little bit as well to get it the same as the other one, and then it'll have to get trimmed back. Once I get that done, then I make the little tabs that get bent over in these little slots, and I have to weld them on the bottom. So I'll bring you back once I got it a little bit closer. Gonna go move some more snow here in the meantime. Okay guys, we're back after about another 2 hours of tapping, fitting, cutting, sanding, making everything fit. We have a matched set of fenders now. As matched as I can do her anyhow. This is not a production facility, that's for sure. Anyhow, I've got, this one's all fastened. I've got the little tabs welded onto the underside that go through the body and then get bent over after it's been painted and bodyworked and painted. So the owner was here yesterday. We looked over it. He's pretty happy with what's happened here so far. Like I said in my comments there, one of the things I'm getting in trade for this is a 1932-33 Chevy 3-window coupe. He's got a couple to choose from. Going to be a future project down the road here. So what I have left to do now is a rear fender on this side. He also wants me to make a tin steering wheel for it. It just had a piece of 3/8 rod that was bent up kind of nasty by the farmer. The original one must have got broken. I have to make the new tin pieces that make up the front axle, as well as new frame rails out of some 1/8 by 1/2 inch. And then it's going to be done and out of my hair. So anyhow guys, I hope you're enjoying this pedal car. I know it's not full-size car, but it's still car. And I'm kind of enjoying it. Learned a whole bunch in the process. So anyhow guys, thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you on the next one. We'll probably have one more with some pedal car content, and then hopefully that'll be a chapter done in our viewing. Take care guys. Thanks for subscribing. Hey, good morning everyone. Happy New Year. I think it's the 3rd today. I think it is. Could be the 4th. Who knows? Days just fly by lately. So anyhow, I just quick update here, show you what's done, what's not done, and where we're going here in the next couple of weeks. So I'll just one thing I did get, I got another decal in a trade, Outlaw Edge from Arco down in Minnesota there. We're kind of sharing the frigid winter weather here. Other thing that's going on, I got the shop cleaned up again, and I'm finally finished this thing. I'm telling you, that was one big project. I got 138 hours total. I've got the front fenders, I've got the arches trimmed out exactly the same both sides. Built the new frame, the new front axle. What else we got? Built steering wheel. Wheels turn. Everything works. It's just kind of loosely bolted together. Fenders and everything are done. Both sides. She's going back to the owner on Wednesday. So that's where we're at with that. That'll be out of my hair, and I can get on with this project, which I'm really looking forward to. Seems to be that it's been sitting here forever, but it hasn't. I did get all the parts for the Hemi. They were back ordered for just about a month from Summit Racing, but I've got complete gasket set, oil pump, timing set, head bolts, and this unit, which is from Dakota Digital. Just show you this. It's called an STA 1000, and what it does is gives me a check engine light on the swap, as well as it's a driver for the tack I have in the dash already. So that's where we're at. Stay tuned. We're going to get to pulling the motor out of the Dodge here this week. Get the transmission taken care of first. I've got some seals coming. They should be here this week. And then I'm going to get the motor tore down, and we can carry on with that. So thanks for subscribing, guys. Take care.